morning. I want to apologize because this is going to bug you, but class survey. Raise your hands. How many of you had breakfast this morning? And how many of you are planning to eat lunch or dinner later on? Almost everyone, right? But what if we didn't have the so-called luxury of choosing whenever or whatever we want to eat? I personally think it's going to be hard for us to imagine living without water or food in our society because of the abundant supply we have in our resources that other countries lack. And that leads to my topic. Today I want to introduce to you the famine in East Africa, most specifically in the regions of Somalia. This is the Horn of East Africa, and Somalia is in the outer region right here, and then you can see the famine and emergency is most severe in Somalia. I chose to do this topic because it's something my church has been talking about and discussing, so I thought I'd do some more research on it and share it with you guys. But I'm pretty sure most of you have at least heard or seen articles, advertisements, Tumblr posts, Facebook posts about the conditions of Africa, but never stopped to think about what you could do about it. So today I will be discussing the effects of the famine on the Somali people, why we should care for the crisis, and ways you, the audience, can contribute to this cause.
Stopped working?
So the first thing I want to talk about is the effect of the famine in Somalia. This is a picture of what most of the children look like in Somalia. I had many more, but I think this does a good. So the famine crisis is putting millions of lives at risk and continues to threaten to destabilize the region. The current drought in Somalia is the worst drought in 60 years, and it's affecting more than 11 million people in the East African Horn. According to the United Nations, more than 13.3 million people are in need of humanitarian aid in the drought-ravaged in Horn of Africa. Within that statistic, World Vision states in the project area of only Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia, more than 2.5 million people are affected in that small area. And the people that are being affected are the children, and the death rate increases rapidly every day. Yeah, thank you. So this is kind of what the famine is. This picture is like, these are dead cows, and the drought there is caused by the lack of food and water and rain. Next one. So I'll talk about this. This is from a organization called Forward. So it shows that studies show that one child dies every 6 minutes in Somalia. So within the time of my speech, one child in Somalia had already died. This is due to the severity of the famine and drought that is in East Africa. The food and water shortage as of this year has been the most severe food security emergency in the world today. A quote from the Atlantic Post article asks reader, did you know that 800,000 children are in danger of dying of starvation in the coming weeks if aid is not delivered? And this brings me to my next point, which are the reasons why we should know about the crisis and how we can help by just being aware of it. A primary reason is that if we have focus on the health there, it improves the chances of preventing death. William H. Frist, a special reporter at CNN, traveled to Africa with Dr. Jill Biden, who is the wife of our vice president, and he states that they would survive because of the generosity of America. He says this because America is responsible for 47% of the food being provided in these regions in the refugee camps. And it's essential for our focus to be towards this issue because if word spreads about the famine, the people know about the crisis, and there's a possibility that that 40% can increase, and then more people will be able to have food and water. The regions in Somalia suffer enough from the poor planning of world leaders who keep pushing, preventing the anticipated death of millions to the bottom of their to-do list. And many of the children don't have 2 weeks to wait and live. One example that I got from the Washington Post article reveals that recently a donor conference hosted by the African Union to raise money for the Somalia famine victims had been postponed for at least 2 weeks, and the reason for the postponement was poor planning. Because of the poor planning of our world leaders, nonprofit organizations are stepping up to the plate to take action to fight against the famine. These are just a few of the organizations that I researched. The first one up here is called Forward, which stands for Famine, War, Drought Relief, and this organization is made from the U.S. aid from the American people. This organization promotes forwarding the message of the famine in Africa. They believe that people know about it, but they don't talk about it. So their mission is to see, feed, and change the future. And you can donate by texting GIFT to that number or spreading the word from like on Facebook and stuff. Another one is called World Vision. It's on that side. World Vision is one of the bigger organizations and have been around for a long time. They not only help the famine in Africa, but many other parts of the world as well. You can contribute through World Vision by adopting a child. That means you would be supporting a child in Africa by paying, I think, $20 to $30 a month, which gives them food, water, clothes, books, backpacks, and other necessities. This one is UNICEF, and that one is Oxfam, which is an English foundation, organization that funds for food in Africa. Another one is you can just be creative and do your own donations. What I did with my cousin is, well, we sold most of my clothes, and with the money we earned, our parents matched up to that amount, and we donated it to an organization for East Africa. So today I talked about the effects the famine has in Somalia, the reasons why we should care, and how we can help. As you may have noticed, this issue is something that will not go away on its own. So I believe that it's important to take action and be aware of what is going on. Even the smallest contribution can be the biggest gift for them. Thank you.
Did you figure out what happened, or?
The mouse was plugged out.
Oh, somebody took the USB thing out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that it won't work if that's not plugged in. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to be having doing this. Linda, what did you think?
So I actually liked how you, in your technographer, how you pulled the class. I thought it worked really well because it showed like how we live compared to the people in Somalia. In the beginning, you listed your 3 main topics, so I knew where you were going, and you had a lot of nice visuals, good information about the topic. It seemed like you were really strong about that topic, about helping the country. You had a lot of outside source, and I thought you did really good overall.
All right, the survey I thought was used reasonably effectively. I'm not sure how necessary it was to have people participate in it. They could do the visualization thing, for instance, and probably accomplish the same outcome, but I didn't think that it hurt your presentation. The topic is pretty solid and nicely identified. You have a very good preview of what the structure is going to be internally. There's a lot of statistical information. You've got some examples that you're talking about. In the later part of the speech, you've got some personal experience that you share that adds to the audience interest. I like that. They're good internal signposts as you're moving from one idea to the next. The visual materials are satisfactory. I thought that you handled the little moment of awkwardness when it was not moving reasonably well, and we got somebody in to take care of it, and it didn't really